What is up, you guys? Welcome to the video. In today's video, I'm going to be diving deep into the different styles of music festivals and helping you figure out which festival is right for you. This video is made for anyone, whether you are new to the festival scene and trying to figure out what style festival you should attend. And it's also made for frequent festival goers that are trying to break their comfort zones. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Living by the F Word. For anyone new here, my name is Jess. I'm a fine artist, flight attendant, and festival enthusiast, and I talk about F words that I'm passionate about here on my channel. Today's video is going to be really awesome. I'm going to be talking about different types of festivals, giving you examples of these types of festivals, and helping you figure out which one might be best for you to attend. I think this is an important topic to discuss, because the longer we are without festivals, the more we are craving them. And I do see a lot of people kind of curious about different style events. So I thought this would be a great video to help people out and talk more about festivals. First up, we have city festivals. So this type of festival is a festival that typically is held within a city at a larger venue or park. And some examples of city festivals are Ultra Music Festival, Electric Zoo, Austin City Limits, EDC Las Vegas, Hangout Fest, Movement Detroit, Lollapalooza, Life is Beautiful, Crossed, which is at the San Diego waterfront, and Time Warp, which you can find either in a market in Germany or a Brooklyn warehouse, depending on where you're located. So with city festivals, it's really awesome because the backdrop is really cool. Lots of times it'll be in a plaza, a park, or you'll see the city skyline for the event you are attending. So really amazing vibes, but they don't have any type of on-site lodging for the attendees. So if you're traveling from out of state, out of the country, from anywhere that is not local to this festival, you will have to get some type of lodging off-site, typically an Airbnb, a hotel, condo, anything that you could rent with your friends, or if you have an RV, something like that, you have to have your own accommodation off-site. All right, up next we have camping music festivals. So at camping music festivals, you have a variety of options for camping on site. These specific festivals can have walk-in camping, car camping, RV camping, glamping, where they already have tents set up for you upon arrival, cabins, apartments. Depending on the festival you're going to, they have a variety of options as far as lodging on site on the festival grounds. And we can further break down camping music festivals into two different categories. We have walk-in camping only festivals, and we have festivals, as I mentioned, that have some type of drive-up option where you can park and camp with your car or vehicle next to you. So let's talk about walk-in camping festivals only. Some examples of festivals that are walk-in only are Envision Festival in Costa Rica, Tomorrowland in Boom, Belgium, Mysteryland in the Netherlands, or it used to also be held at Bethel Woods, New York, Glastonbury on Worthy Farm in the UK, and Elements Festival, which is located in Lakewood, Pennsylvania. Some examples of car camping festivals where you can camp right next to your car would be Electric Forest in Rothbury, Michigan, Coachella on the Polo Grounds in Indio, California, Bonnaroo on the farm in Manchester, Tennessee, Lost Lands in Legend Valley, Ohio, Lightning in a Bottle, which has been located at various locations in California. And these types of festivals, you really do have to look at what their rules are as far as camping. And before you purchase your ticket, you definitely need to do some research to figure out what type of camping you want. If you're going to be taking some type of shuttle service, getting dropped off and doing a walk-in camping only, the price will differ from a ticket that would be car camping, and that price will also differ, especially if you have an RV. Now with RVs, that's a little different situation. They usually have designated areas for RVs, and you will have a ticket where you can have an option for an add-on for hookups or no hookups. And also you really have to be mindful of the type of RV you're going to be getting. Is it going to be smaller? Is it going to be larger? Because this accounts for space at the festival. So these are all things just to think about if you are deciding you want to go the RV route instead of camping. I prefer camping Camping music festivals are my favorite. I absolutely love the atmosphere. Up next, we have destination music festivals, and these are festivals that are typically held at a off the beaten path location or beaches or jungles in exotic locations. So some examples of what I would consider a destination style event would be the Groove Cruise, Holy Ship, Friendship Cruise, SXM Festival in St. Martin, the BPM Festival, which is located in various locations around the world, Sonus Festival in Croatia, Balkan Sound in Hungary, Oasis Festival in Morocco, and there are various other festivals that are popping up all over the place so that you can have this double dipper experience, which is what I like to call it, where you get to go and see another country, experience beautiful things like ruins, hiking, beaches, stuff like that, that is in addition to your festival experience. All right, up next we have transformational music festivals. Now, transformational music festivals, everyone might have a different definition of what style of event this might be. Typically, they are an event that is held in a remote location, and it is heavily dependent on the attendees being part of the experience as far as the build and participating. So basically, transformational festivals have a common cause where the participants actively participate within the community to build the event, volunteer, contribute, and participate while in attendance. Most of these festivals do have a musical lineup and music, but in addition to the music, there is so much more. It's having visionary art, workshops, panel discussions about sustainability, psychedelic medicine, plant medicine, yoga, breathwork, and physical activities workshops to move your body, speakers on how to deal with trauma and various other topics to assist you in becoming your very best self. And I absolutely really love transformational events and festivals that I've been to. Here are some examples of these types of events. We have Envision Festival in Uvita, Costa Rica, Boom Festival in Portugal, Lucidity Festival in Santa Barbara, California, Symbiosis Gathering in various locations around the world. Lightning in a Bottle, Shambhala, and Fusion Festival are also on this transformational music festival list that I have. And of course, I have to mention the regional Burns and Burning Man events, although a lot of people know I do not consider Burning Man a festival. The organization does not consider themselves a festival either. And I think it's just important I express that to my viewers because I truly believe that Burning Man is not a festival. It's a community and it is based off of experimental living in a remote location, and it's just so much more than what a festival really is. And last but not least, I have festival conferences. Now, some people may argue that a conference isn't a music festival, and I kind of agree with you, but I thought it would be really important to include these style events on this video. So typically at a festival conference, you will have events still, you'll still have parties, but they're more for networking and exploring career options and various topics that pertain to festivals. So some examples of festival conferences, you have South by Southwest in Austin, which has basically a full month of panels and topic discussions and parties that cater to film, technology, and music. There's separate weeks for each of those topics that are discussed. You also have the Winter Music Conference, which is in Miami. This is also pretty well known as Miami Music Week, where there's a bunch of parties. The actual Winter Music Conference is catered towards DJs, music awards, and producers, and DJ equipment. We also have the Amsterdam Dance Event, which is in Amsterdam, which has various speakers about EDM careers, sustainability, and various topics all pertaining to mental health and the music world in general. We have X Live in Las Vegas, which formerly was called the International Music Festival Conference. It was then sold and has been since called X Live. And this is a combo event which is really catered towards music festivals, music production, people within the music industry, but also the technology side, which discusses things like the power of VR and the future of VR and the future of music festivals and live streaming and all the types of technology the world has to offer currently. Fest Forums in Santa Barbara, California is another music festival conference, which the owner of this conference originally was the owner of what is now X Live. So I would imagine, I have never attended, but I would imagine that it's very similar topics of panel discussions all about music festivals, and you'll have anyone from festival production, festival producers, festival bloggers, festival writers in attendance. I really love camping music festivals. The reason being is I like being on site. I like being able to be fully immersed in this experience. You meet a lot of people by camping on site. You meet your neighbors, and then you meet people at after parties, and you just meet people in general when you're staying on site. If you're staying at a hotel during a camping music festival, or you're staying at any of these city festivals, typically you're very limited to the people you are going with, if you're even going with anyone. So if you're going with a group of friends, you typically stay in that little bubble and you don't really meet that many people unless the hotel is specifically hosting that festival. Then you might meet a lot more people that are all staying within the same hotel. But for the most part, camping music festivals are my favorite. I really love the experience. I love seeing how a whole little mini city is basically built on these grounds for, a weekend, 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, however long the festival is going on for. It personally is just my personal preference. Now, this is important to know because there are people out there that have tried camping music festivals and they cannot hack it, meaning they cannot stand being sweaty or waking up hot or, doing things that are maybe more rough compared to when you are in a hotel or an Airbnb or something like that. You have a shower every night. There's showers at camping music festivals, of course, but it is less effort when you're in a hotel. It's just an automatic, thing that you have is a shower and a bed to sleep in. But also, if you are a experienced festival goer, meaning you go to a lot of festivals, but a lot of the festivals you've only attended are hotel based or city based, you definitely need to try a camping music festival. There is something so different about that experience, and you have to at least try it once to then figure out if you don't like it or not. I also am a really big fan of destination style events because I love killing two birds with one stone. I love going overseas or going to another country, getting to experience things in that country, experience that food, experience that culture, see different things in addition to a music festival. It is so important and is totally my style of travel. And I did touch upon that in one of my last videos where I talk about what my music festival lineup would be for a year. It's just a staple in my type of travel when I'm going to music festivals. And of course, I really love transformational events. I think that these are so important, especially for us and the younger generation, to learn how to take care of ourselves, take care of people in general, and just be better to the human race. So if you're new to the festival space, I think it's really important for you to figure out what style music you like. And the reason being is if you're just getting into the festival space, you definitely want to kind of choose a festival that perhaps the lineup is attractive to you. So for me personally, I've been attending festivals for over 10 years now, basically, and the lineup does not really matter to me anymore. Now I'm more about the experience, connecting with people, networking, and having that type of experience. The music is just a bonus for me now. But if you are new, I think it's important that you go to a festival that has music that caters to you. So for example, if you're into EDM and you like electronic dance music and you like all the different subgenres, like you're really into house, but you like techno and bass music and rhythm, you like it all, right? I think you should definitely try to go to a festival like Ultra Miami, Tomorrowland, EDC, something that caters to everyone so you can have a full-blown experience of all these types of music. If you are into a specific style of music, for example, you might want to try a festival that is catered to just that type of music. So for instance, if you are only really primarily listening to bass music and rhythm and stuff like that, you should probably try to go to Lost Lands, because that is what that festival caters to. If you are not into bass music, I probably would not go there. If you're into something like house and techno and the whole underground, you should go to something like SXM Festival, the BPM Festival. So I do think it's kind of important as a new person to figure out the style of music you want. I also think multi-genre festivals like Coachella, Hangout Fest, Bonnaroo are awesome, because you get like the best of every single world. You get indie music, rock music, hip hop, R&B, rap, EDM, you have it all. Now, the next thing I think you really need to ask yourself if you are new to the festival space is, what type of person are you? Are you comfortable in larger crowds? Are you comfortable navigating, like when you drive places or you go and visit another city? Do you feel comfortable navigating around? Do you feel okay doing that? Are you someone that you need people to be with you in order to have a good time, or do you think you can handle being alone? The first festival that I ever went to that was rave related or EDM related was Ultra Miami in 2012. I went solo, I bought a ticket, I stayed in a hostel, I met people from all over the world, which then led me to traveling to other global events. My second major festival for EDM was Stereosonic in Australia. So I flew all the way to Australia. I'd never left the country on my own. I'd studied abroad, but it was with a group. I had never solo traveled before. So that was kind of the start of everything. And then my first camping music festival ever was Tomorrowland. So do you need to start small? You don't, because I didn't. But it's important to note that I was comfortable traveling alone, and I was getting experiences of this solo travel where I was meeting new people and it was opening up more doors and more opportunities for me. So it's really up to you to ask yourself what type of person you are, and do you think you're going to be able to go do something without your friends? And I will give you a little bit of advice. If you wait for your friends to go somewhere, you're going to be waiting forever and you're going to miss out. You just need to go. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope it helped you out and gave you a little bit to think about if you are trying to have a new experience, if you're trying to get out of your comfort zone, if you are a frequent festival goer and you want to try something new, or whether you are new to the scene and you just don't really know where to start. Just take advice from all the festival goers. The community is amazing. There are a ton of other festival content creators all over the place that talk about their experiences. Just make sure that you know that my experience may be different than yours, and it may be different from this person and that person. So you kind of have to take all the advice with a grain of salt and really kind of dive deep into the person you are. Yeah, that's it for this video. Please subscribe if you are into F words or festivals or fashion or anything that I talk about. I also have a series all about tarot, oracle, and Lenormand cards. So if you're into art and learning about card divination, please subscribe. I would absolutely love it. And please share this video if you are a festival goer. I am trying to grow my little network here. So please, sharing means caring, and smash that like button. Peace.